Philadelphia, days after a mandate was brought back. A mandate's returning to Los Angeles.
This is Alex Stone in Los Angeles. We're beginning today. There is a new public health order in place re-implementing mandatory masks on public transit like buses, trains, and Uber and Lyft rides, and at airports like LAX and the Burbank Airport. It comes only days after masks came down here. The county health director saying it's being done because the CDC lost its power to do it this week, but the CDC still believes it's needed to battle COVID.
President Biden announced another $800 million worth of military aid is being sent to Ukraine. He called on Western countries to continue with their measures of condemnation for Russia's invasion.
The most important thing right now is maintain the unity. So far, so good.
And the Pentagon believes this war could be at a pivotal point.
The next few weeks in the war in Ukraine could be a turning point, according to a defense official. The outcome of Russia's major offensive in eastern Ukraine will be critical in defining the shape of the war, says the official. That's why the U.S. is rushing howitzer artillery to the Donbass region to help Ukraine defend against a potential Russian military victory in that part of the country. The long-range artillery will be useful in targeting Russian troops operating in the region's wide-open spaces. Louis Martinez, ABC News, the Pentagon.
State of emergency declared in Arizona where a fire has burned over 20,000 acres north of Flagstaff. Heather McKay had to quickly flee her home with her 3-year-old and 3-month-old sons.
I was in the car driving away and saw, the house burning. So we knew that was the end of it.
That fire's destroyed at least 24 buildings, and windy, dry conditions are expected to continue today in the region. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, text FREE to 99799.
Texas carrying out its first execution of the year, putting to death the oldest person on the state's death row.
In a final statement that took about 5 minutes, Carl Wayne Bunchen said he hoped his execution would bring closure to the family of James Irby, the Houston police officer he killed in 1990. And indeed, Irby's widow Mara said,
"It was an amazing feeling, and I felt like I took the deepest breath I've been able to in the last 32 years.
Bunchen's attorneys had argued that their client should not be executed because at 78, he posed no threat to society. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Investigators outside Atlanta are trying to figure out why a small plane crashed at a General Mills cereal plant. Captain Ken Malcolm with the Covington Police Department says the Cessna twin-engine plane hit a remote part of the plant Thursday morning.
This is a horrible situation, a horrible scene. Obviously, the fact that it didn't, crash into the plant, saved many lives.
No one on the ground was hurt, but nobody on the plane survived. It went down after taking off from a nearby airport. There are new concerns about road signs that are supposed to help save lives. A study in Texas shows crashes increase by about 4% along stretches of highway that come right after digital signs that show road fatality numbers. One theory is that those signs actually distract drivers. This is ABC News.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. Ends 5/28. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
One good thing about summertime is that Serendipity Ice Cream and Snow Cones are opening. Whatever everybody's favorite summertime refreshment, it is snowballs from Serendipity on Broadway Street in Forest City. 90 flavors to choose from. And now Serendipity offers the delicious soft serve ice cream, one of my favorites. Or try the abdominal 16-ounce cup of Oreo, Butterfinger, or chocolate chip cookie dough. Or the fresh fruit, shaven ice and strawberry cream, pineapple, pina colada, peaches and cream, or mango. Serendipity can do wedding receptions or parties of any kind. They're open Monday through Saturday, 2:30 until 8:30 p.m., closed on Wednesdays. So find them on Facebook. That's Serendipity. Better yet, go by to see them on 375 Broadway Street in Forest City. I'll tell you what, if you'll mention WCAB, they'll give you $1 off per order. Isn't that nice? It's the time of year to come to NC Tractor for the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. NC Tractor gives fantastic customer service, the best discounts possible, and it's a locally owned business. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue is helping to make outdoor work more enjoyable. Should you have something that you can be proud of for a long time? Massey Ferguson and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. Come look them over. 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. That phone number is 288-0395.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to a Friday, and we are seeing a mostly clear to partly cloudy sky this morning. Not as chilly this morning as well. For the day ahead, we'll see a mostly sunny sky, a warmer day with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. We'll see a light breeze through the afternoon. Starting off in the low to mid 50s Saturday morning, we'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s once again. We're warmer with sunshine for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Currently, we're 51 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's a great getting up morning right here in the foothills. It's 7:06, and it's time now for the death announcements. John Wayne Towery, age 81 of Forest City, died Tuesday, April 19th at hospice of the Carolina foothills, Forest City. The funeral service will be held 2 p.m. Saturday, April 23rd in the Paget and King Chapel. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 prior to the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for John Wayne Towery. Karen Hefner Cuthbertson, age 61 of Rutherfordton, died Monday, April 18th at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 Sunday, April 24th at McMahon's Funeral Home. The memorial service will follow at the Funeral Home Chapel at 3 o'clock Sunday, April 24th. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Karen Hefner Cuthbertson. John Wayne Towery, age 81 of Forest City, died Tuesday, April 19th at hospice of the Carolina foothills. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday, April 23rd in the Paget and King Chapel. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Family will receive friends from 1 until 2 prior to the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for John Wayne Towery. Douglas Wayne Lowry, 64 of Ellenboro, died Thursday, April 21st. Those arrangements incomplete and will be announced by the Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Douglas Wayne Lowry. Brenda Self, age 61 of Mooresboro, passed away Thursday, April 29th at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Monday, April 25th at the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends following the service at the graveside. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Brenda Self. Terry Wild Turkey Thompson, age 62 of Spartanburg, passed away Friday at his residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 7 o'clock Tuesday, April 26th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home for Terry Wild Turkey Thompson. Donna Sprouse McDaniel, age 59 of Ellenboro, passed away Thursday, April 14th at her residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 7 o'clock April 25th, Monday at April 25th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Donna Sprouse McDaniel. Mary Lee Callahan Curtis, age 91, died Sunday, April 10th at Fairhaven of Bostic. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Sunday, April 24th in Florence Baptist Church. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 o'clock in the Narthex prior to the service. Burial will follow at Cool Springs Cemetery. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Mary Curtis.
They have helped thousands of unhappy timeshare owners over the past decade. Family-owned, their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. So please call for a no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Friday, I received a big reaction to my TV segment about righteous anger. That is the concept whereby an individual displays extreme annoyance over an incident or personal behavior of another person. Parental discipline can be righteous, of course. Defending yourself against a threat, righteous. So does trying to right an obvious wrong. There is a reason the New Testament features Jesus overturning the tables of merchants on the floor of Jerusalem's biggest house of worship. That display of righteous anger is very vivid in the Bible. But caution. Prisons are filled with inmates who claim legitimate anger after breaking the law. And here the old cliche comes in. Two wrongs do not make a right. In order to be truly righteous, you have to control yourself. You have to harness your anger, not let it lead you to antisocial behavior. And that is a very hard thing to do at times. Take it from me. For a just cause, controlled anger can be a positive. But if it gets out of control, bad things will always happen. In today's America, every display of anger is subject to political correct criticism. That is foolish. Some anger is indeed righteous and should be displayed. But losing control is always a negative. Now this. Did you know that cars today have more tech than the first spaceship? Something's guaranteed to break. That's why you need CarShield. When you need a repair, you can choose the mechanic, and CarShield gets the rest taken care of. Plans through CarShield even provide rental car options, roadside assistance, trip reimbursement, all at no extra cost. So get covered today and save 10%. Please go to carshield.com/bill or call 800-391-8888. A deductible may apply. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
The most music's on us, WCAB.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
morning. Deacon Miller was a little man who was quiet and never cussed. He dressed like a traveling minister and was an avid churchgoer. At the same time, he was one of the most ruthless assassins of the Old West. It's estimated that 40 or more people died from lead that came from his guns. Some of them were even his relatives. His contracts were usually carried out on unarmed men from behind a rock or tree using a rifle. There are those who say he was involved with the death of Pat Garrett, the lawman who shot Billy the Kid. A man named Razel, who was renting Garrett's ranch, confessed to killing Garrett, but at the time a mysterious man who fit Deacon Miller's description by the name of Adamson was negotiating the purchase of the ranch. Some feel he didn't actually pull the trigger, but like many theories about the events of the Old West, we'll probably never know the truth. Deacon Miller's last contract kill was on a lawman named Gus Babbitt. As was his style, Miller ambushed Babbitt. Unfortunately, Babbitt lived long enough to describe Miller. Miller and 3 helpers were arrested. Deacon Miller was noted for being a smooth talker, and he bragged that with his ability to con and a high-priced lawyer, he was going to be able to beat this rap. Some of the locals believed him. So on April 19, 1909, they broke Deacon Miller and his 3 friends out of jail, escorted them to a barn, and hanged them. Deacon Miller went to his reward, and there was little doubt by anyone who knew him the direction in which that reward was located. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Congratulations to Jesse James Railroad Express, voted 2021 Best of Rutherford County hot dogs and hamburgers 5 years in a row.
Now on this Friday morning, let's head to the phones and find out what's been going on around our county. We start first with the Sheriff's Department, and Deputy Lowry is with us today to give us that news. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on.
In the past 24 hours, we have responded to 149 calls, processed 20 arrests, and the jail currently has 174 detainees. Under incident reports, we have Michael Hauser reported a incident of breaking and entering to a residence on Doggett Road. We have Annette Stover of Rutherford reported an incident of fraud. Susan Korn of Union Mills reported an incident of larceny of motor vehicle. We have Rutherford County DSS reported an incident of damage to property. Ronald McIntyre of Ellenboro reported an incident of attempt to obtain property by false pretense. And then for arrest reports, we have Brandon Lee Logan of Pea Ridge Road in Rutherford, charged with assault and battery. We have Stephen Schaefer of Ellenboro, charged with possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver Schedule 2 controlled substance, non-supportive child, and resist public officer. Possess drug paraphernalia, failure to appear on misdemeanor, ×2, and probation violation. We have Vincent Harrison, address listed as homeless. He was arrested for misdemeanor larceny. Keegan Henson, no address given, arrested for possession of marijuana paraphernalia, possession of marijuana up to a half ounce. Terry Scrontz of Forest City, charged with misdemeanor flee elude, driving while license revoked, operate vehicle, no insurance. Tristan Bolyard of Granite Falls, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Aaron Langley of Mooresboro, charged with failure to appear on felony. Davis Vickers of Ellenboro, charged with notice of hearing on violation of supervised probation. Aubrey Bright of Ellenboro, charged with injury to personal property. And Samuel Boyce of Forest City, charged with assault on a female and littering 15 to 500 pounds. And that's all.
Deputy Lowry, thank you very much for that report, and I hope you have a safe weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye. 18 minutes after 7.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Amanda has a report for us from the Communication Center this morning. Amanda, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's on your report?
Well, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communication Center has processed 326 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 45 for emergency medical services, 149 for the Sheriff's Office, 30 for Forest City, 2 for Lake Lure, 18 for Rutherford, and 20 for Spindale, and that is all.
Thanks so much for that report. You have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye. The 3 people have been arrested, and 1 person is wanted after deputies say a man was shot and injured in Ellenboro Wednesday night, April 20th. Rutherford County deputies say officers responded to 589 Ellenboro Henrietta Road at around 9 p.m. when they found Danny Huber lying in the yard suffering from a gunshot wound. Huber was taken to Cleveland Regional Medical Center to receive treatment for his injuries. On April 21st, deputies say they arrested Darrell Alexander Jackson in connection with the incident. Jackson is charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury. He's being held in Rutherford County Slammer under a $250,000 secured bond. Deputies say Rosalind Carolee Tony and Dominic Dasheen Valentine were also arrested on Thursday in connection with the incident. Both are charged with aid and abet assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury. Both are held under a $200,000 secured bond. Jacob Kane Robbins, who's also charged with aiding and abetting, is still wanted by Rutherford County deputies. Anyone with information on Robbins' whereabouts is asked to contact the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office at 286-2911. Crime Stoppers at 286-TIPS or use the Submit a Tip feature on the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office mobile app. Now let's head over toward Danieltown SDO Department and get a report from Ruby Taylor. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. On my birthday calendar today, I've got Isaac Clell and Carlton Thompson having birthdays. Hope they have a nice day today. Then tomorrow, Jean Marr, Thelma Toms, Margie Husky, Susan Collins, and Terry Pardon having birthdays tomorrow. Mr. and Miss Bill Mays is having anniversary, and hope they have a nice day. Sunday, Gail Roop and Kenny Robbins having birthdays. Mr. and Miss Alvin Buchanan having anniversary. Hope all these people have a nice day, and the signs are in the knees today, legs tomorrow, and Sunday. And that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Hey folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Now let's check in with Gary Wilson. He's up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, Bills Creek community. Gary Wilson, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Bishop, how you doing?
I am doing great. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm happy.
Yeah, if you don't like this weather, come back tomorrow. It might be even better.
That's right.
It's a nice warm day coming up. I'm glad to see it, too. Give them a chance to get outside and enjoy it. I'll start planting the gardens and whatever they want to do. Makes me even want to get up and go fishing a little bit now.
That sounds good.
Look up and down a little bit of that. We've had a quiet night, no fire call, sitting on about 51 degrees this morning. And been quiet in the area overnight. Bills Creek Fire Department will be having a fundraiser coming up tomorrow, Saturday, from 7 until 3. Be a plant sale and a yard sale and breakfast items and lunch items and anything you're looking for. So if you need a few flowers and a few vegetable plants to get your garden going with, and stop by there tomorrow and help fix you up. And that's about all we got up here, Jim. I think everything is going on pretty good.
You think the cold snap's over with now? Won't have any more, will we?
It's kind of iffy. I mean, it could. I've seen late frost come through in April, early May, but long range forecast don't look like anything from that. So
looks good right now.
I'll take it right now.
Gary, you enjoy your weekend.
All right, you have a good one, Jim.
Thanks. All right, bye-bye.
How hot is the new Scorching Hot 7 scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery? Well, with a top prize of $700,000 and a bonus game on the back, people everywhere are hot to trot, in hot pursuit, and hot on the trail of these little hotcakes. So get out of your hot tub, put on your hot pants, and hot rod on over to strike while the iron is hot and pick up the new Scorching Hot 7 scratch-offs before someone else starts their hot streak and you find yourself left out in the cold. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.65. Problem gambling. Helpline 877-718-5543.
The Braves take on a series with the Marlins starting this evening, 6:05. We will join that pregame at 6:05 this evening. Now let's check in over in Bostic, and DeVern Upton is on the phone. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's nice to meet you yesterday.
It was nice to meet you, too. It was a good project you folks do there at your church, and a good project that the Action Club there does for the community as well. It was a good morning. I was enjoying being there.
Yes, I enjoyed it. Okay, over here in Boston this morning we have a temperature of 53 degrees. Supposed to have a nice day today. Fire department had no calls. They will be meeting tomorrow at the fire department. Stop in at Boston Florist and get your flower arrangements off Main Street. Also, Whistle Stop Bakery on Main Street in Boston. Get your bakery items. And there will be a yard sale May the 7th, 1105 Bean Mills Road. Lots of toys, electronics, and much more. That'll be from 8 until. And there's a food giveaway at Washburn's Outreach today from 9 to 12:30. And hope everyone gets out and enjoys this beautiful weather today.
It's going to be nice out there.
It's supposed to be real nice all weekend.
Just a little explanation about that project. We were talking about the Action Club, which is part of Rutherford Life Services, special needs patients over there, not patients, but guests.
Yes.
Do a project through the Kiwanis Club of Forest City and the Kiwanis Club of Rutherford. Rutherford, it's called the Action Club, and their project was to get peanut butter and jelly and donate it to food pantries and food causes, and that was their project. And then they were donating it to churches like yours and some of the other facilities, and that's what that project was all about. So those young people really enjoyed that.
Really enjoyed it, didn't they? And they done it for a good reason.
They sure did. They a hard-working Action Club over there, and we're glad, as Forest City Kiwanians, we're glad to be a part of that.
Yeah, Debbie does a good job.
She does, indeed. You have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, we're checking it up at Hudlow now. Bob Hodge, good morning.
Well, good Friday morning.
Well, Gary Wilson was talking about maybe it's good fishing weather. Let's me and you go fishing with him.
Well, that'd be all right. When you want to go?
You got any? you got any fishing worms?
No, but we'll find some. we'll go out here and dig up a few there.
It's been years since I've done any fishing.
Me too. It's been a long time there. Yeah, but there's a lot of them going fishing there. So
yeah, it's a big sport for a lot of people.
There's a lot of people there like to get out on the lake and fish there. But, Jim, it's starting out a beautiful morning up here this morning. That sun's coming up and look like we're going to warm up some today. And look like we're going to have a nice weekend, like summertime weather here. And with the fire department, it's been quiet all night. Hadn't had any fire calls. And there'll be a blood drive now coming up April the 25th. That'll be Monday at the Relton Town Hall, and that starts at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's about all I have up here this morning. And, Jim, I hope you have a real good weekend.
Thanks, Bob. I hope you do too. You and I, Virginia, have a good one. Just find some things that you enjoy doing and enjoy them for the weekend.
Well, the same to you.
Thank you. Have a good. Bye-bye. Bob Hodge reporting out of Hudlow. I mentioned earlier about Serendipity Ice Cream and Snow Cones being open Monday through Saturday. Actually, they're open Sunday through Saturday with the exception of Wednesday. They open at 2:30 until 8:30. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They're closed on Wednesdays. You can find them on Facebook. Better yet, drive by there at 375 Broadway Street. They got all kinds of delicious ice cream, snow cones, soft serve ice cream. Go see them. And if you'll mention us, WCAB will give you $1 off your order. Per order. That's pretty good. Next phone call coming right up. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. Cherry Mountain Fire District, here we come. Sue Price, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Looks like we're going to have another pretty day.
I'm ready for it.
I believe the sun's coming up, so looking good. Well, I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have a single birthday or anniversary on either one of my calendars today. Nobody's celebrating that I know, but anyway, we're hoping about having one. We'll have a real good day. And in my announcements, the Piney Mountain Boys will be singing at Duncan's Creek Church Sunday during the morning worship service. And then Sunday night, or Sunday afternoon, the Golden Valley Crusaders are going to be in concert at the Ellenboro Community Church, and that's located on Main Street there in Ellenboro. And the special guests will be the South Mountain Singers. No admission, but a love offering will be taken, and everyone is welcome. So I'm sure that'll be a good singing. Golden Valley Community Club will be having our regular meeting April 25th at 7 p.m. And then the club is going to have a fundraiser, and that'll be on the April 30th from 11 to 2. Hamburgers and hot dogs and trimmings, and I'm sure desserts would be good. And it's for donations only, just to help the community club. And I believe so far that's the only announcement I have. It's just a quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day and a good weekend. And I hope you and Faye will have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. I appreciate that. Enjoy it, and I'll see you Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:33, and temperature reading right now looks like it's about 52 degrees. Sunny beginning to shine. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Be sure to hang around and tune in a little about 8:10 this morning. Beth Helton is going to be on the radio with me here in the Bull Room. Find out what Beth has to talk about. She's excited about it, so am I. So you be sure to tune in. Beth Helton this morning at 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, Dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Well, the Braves they haven't got their mojo on just yet. They've been losing some games earlier. They did win some, but they're now, after yesterday's rest, they're back home in their home stadium. And the Braves will be taking on the Marlins 6:05 tonight for the pregame. We'll join that pregame right at 6:05 tonight, so be sure to join us throughout the season.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Couldn't reach Tina this morning up in Shingle Hollow community, so we're scopping over all the way over to Union Mills, and Brenda Kelly is there this morning. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Jim. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
I am. I ain't going to complain because it could always get worse.
It sure could. It sure could.
Just thankful to be alive and watch the sun come up and listen to the birds singing. Ain't it wonderful?
It is. It is really a great day to be alive.
Can I go fishing with you and Bob?
Sure. Are you a fisher person?
I love to fish.
Do you?
Me and Donald used to fish all the time. I don't even know if I could find one of his fishing rods now or not.
You got any fishing worms?
I dig some up out of the backyard. I got night crawlers up here, but I have to get them at nighttime. When y'all was talking about that, it made me think of Pat that used to do it from Lake Lure, I believe, and she loved to fish.
Yes, I remember her. What did y'all fish for mainly?
Oh, we fished for anything. We'd go deep sea fishing. We'd go just to the local little old ponds and carp fish for the biggest thing. Donald would always get in the pot for the biggest catch, and 9 times out of 10 he won the money.
Really?
Yeah, Donald was an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
He loved fishing. He loved hunting and all, and I'd go with him and help him find deer signs. I've walked these hills. Oh goodness, I've walked them.
He loved them, did he?
Yeah, he did. Well, let's see. I've got 48 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays and anniversaries, and today is Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Earth Day, yeah. And then, in ways of announcement, Saturday, April the 30th, at the Union Mills Learning Center, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Springtime at the Mills vendor event. Over 60 vendors will be on site with various crafts and items, no admission. Raffle tickets available for sale. So far, that's all I know of that's going on. Just short, sweet, and quiet up here, and we like it like that.
We like short, sweet, and quiet.
That's right. I ain't seen no snakes yet, of course. Well, now, little man did kill a black snake the other day. He said it was a big old long one.
Was it in your yard?
Well, no, it was right out here close to the driveway.
Yeah.
But, well, in the front, yeah, but not real close to the house.
I've heard and read that where mothballs would deter snakes from getting close to your house, you put some mothballs out around the backyard porch or the steps, and it'll keep snakes away.
Well, I've put mothballs out before, but when you live in the woods like I do, you just well to get used to the fact that they snakes here.
You might as well just throw a party for them, ain't you?
That's exactly right. Bring them on in and let little man shoot them.
Well, if I find any around my house, I'll bring them up to your place.
No, thank you. I've got plenty as it is. You can take them over to Bob. He might need some.
Yeah.
Or you can give them to Luther.
There you go.
Yeah. But I guess you better go check on Luther and see if everything's all right in Ellenborough.
You have a good weekend.
You too, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks. Bye. Benny Kelly reporting out of Union Mills. You know, more and more folks are recognizing how easy it is to get a health plan that don't have to deal with the hassles of the insurance, not deal with the hassles of waiting in the waiting room for so long, and then you just want to push through like you're on a assembly line or something. Imagine quality primary health care and urgent care for you without all those hassles. It's available to you and your family from Brock Family Care. Family medicine the way it ought to be. No insurance to deal with, general primary medical care, chronic disease prevention and management, urgent care, medication management, and so much more. Brock Family Care is a membership-based method where patients pay their primary care provider directly through monthly or annual fees rather than paying through an insurance provider, which can become a hassle sometimes. Not accepting any forms of health insurance cuts out the hassles and allows for more personalized and affordable health care. It may be time to move into something like this for your family or your business. Call today and find out more. Get more information. Here's the number. Just call and write this number down and call sometime today. 382-7782. 382-7782. Or you can go to their website at brockfamilycare.com. That'll help you find out more information. It's well worth the effort to look into that because it's really helping a lot of people. Now let's go to Ellenboro. Luther Gilligan, good morning.
Good morning to nice day down here this morning.
It's a beautiful day up here, too.
It is. Sun's coming through the trees. It's shining. It's going to be a warm day. It's going to be nice. We're going to have a good time.
Good.
Don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have a good time.
Are you a fisher person? Do you go fishing?
No, I'm not a fisherman.
Yeah?
I'm born and raised on Atlantic Coast. I've been fishing twice in my life.
Well, what do you do for recreation?
Nothing.
Drink coffee?
Drink coffee. I enjoy doing nothing.
Yeah? Well, if you're content
I never
Go ahead.
Do what?
If you're content with yourself, you can enjoy doing nothing.
That's right. I'm good at nothing. But hey, we're going to have it's quiet down here this morning. Not a whole lot happening. Had a fairly quiet day. Yes, fire department had one medical call about 8 o'clock last night. Other than that, they're quiet this morning. Nothing going on with them. But hey, we're going to have something going on there at 2 o'clock Sunday. I heard the Ellenboro Community Church going to be having a Golden Valley Crusaders going to be in concert there. And they're going to have Black Mountain Singers with them. So there's going to be a good time out there at 2 o'clock Sunday. So everybody's invited to just come on out and enjoy the show. And then, too, I want to remind everybody the town-wide yard sale coming up 2 weeks away from tomorrow. So everybody's invited to just have a yard sale in their yard. Don't want to have it in your house, just come on out and set up out here on Depot Street, 74 somewhere, just so you don't get on the highway there. But the roads will be closed. And Depot Street had to be open for people to get to the post office. And nothing else going on down here, Jim. So you have a great week up there. We'll talk to you Monday.
I'll
have
see
a good weekend.
I'll see you. Have a good one now. So long.
Take care now.
It's time for birthdays, anniversaries for this 22nd day of April, April the 22nd. If you're celebrating today, we need to hear from you. 287-3356, 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next. And if you have a secretary in your office, guys and gals, and you don't recognize them, if you get their name to us and put them in the secretary poll, and we'll draw the names, 10 names next week. Draw that on Wednesday, and we'll take them to lunch on Friday. So if you have not yet recognized your secretary or your office manager or your whoever runs the office for you, let them know that you appreciate them. Just send their name to us. Get it to us by fax if you like, 287-7182, or you can send it to my email address, jimbishop@nctv.com, or mail it in the mailbox. It may be getting a little close now for the mail to get to us by Wednesday, but you can bring it by here. 287-3356 is our phone number. Bring it by here at 191 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. And let's recognize those folks in your office that keep things running so good for you. When you're going for breakfast, you want to go to a place you know that they know how to cook. Well, that's Granny B's. Granny B's, they know how to cook. And they'll cook you a breakfast that you'll talk about for a while, how good it was and how delicious it is and how much you get of it. Go by Granny B's. They open for breakfast at 6:30 Tuesday through Saturday, and you'll find it well worth your time to stop in and have a breakfast. Now, if you're not a breakfast person, go by for lunch and have one of those delicious subs. They got some wheat bread is outstanding, and you put a little bottle, all kinds of stuff on it. They'll give you a choice of things to put on it. And they've got coffee over there this morning. It's fresh, some of that specialty coffee. They've got some of that as well. That's Granny B's there in Spindale, right up the street there from Lakeside Mills, right beside Spake's restaurant. Not Spake's. What's the name of that restaurant there beside of them? Shake Shop. Yeah, Shake Shop. They're right beside the Shake Shop. Go see them and have a good breakfast.
Happy
birthday. Happy birthday wishes going out to Christine Austin. Christine turns 48 today, so happy birthday, Christine. Thanks for letting us share your birthday. Other birthdays today include Betty Page, pinup model. She was born in 1923, died in 2008. Charlotte Ray, an actress, you remember her. 1926 was her birthday. 1936, Glenn Campbell was born and died in 2017. Jack Nicholson was born in 1937. He's an actor. 1950, Peter Frampton was born. He's a singer. Events on this day include 1793, President Washington attends opening of Ricketts' first circus in the U.S. First circus in the U.S. 1864, U.S. issued 2 cents. 2 cent coin. First appearance of In God We Trust. 1966, Atlanta Braves win their first game. 1969, first human eye transplant. 1970, first Earth Day is celebrated. 1976, Barbara Walters became the first female nightly news anchor. This is National Day of Science, National Earth Day, and National Jelly Bean Day. I can go some jelly beans. Now you're up to date on this date in history right here on WCAB Rutherford. Keys to Confident Living coming up next. 10 minutes after 8 this morning, Beth Helton will be in the studio.
Have you noticed how hard people try to hold on to their youth? Many still see themselves as some ideal year in their life. They don't like to envision that the years have crept up on them. They see the good years as behind them. The idea is depicted in the story about the teenager who was trying to think of something to buy for his girlfriend, so he decided to ask his mom for advice. The question posed for his mother was, if you were going to be 16 years old tomorrow, what would you want? Without hesitation, his mother replied, not another thing. The reality is that we do grow older. The years do add up. When people start to complain about getting older, one only has to remind them of the alternative, and they usually become quiet. The key to getting older is how we do it. An unknown author said, you are as young as your faith, as old as your doubt, as young as your self-confidence, as old as your fear, as young as your hope, as old as your despair. So long as your heart receives messages of beauty, cheer, courage, grandeur, and power from the earth, from man, and from God, so long are you young. When the wires are all down, and all the central place of your heart is covered with the snows of pessimism and the ice of cynicism, then you are grown old indeed. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
The most music's on
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
The week ruled the CDC could not mandate masks at transit hubs. ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles says the nation's most populated county is doing that on its own.
LA County, as of today, issuing a new health order re-implementing mandatory masks on transportation and at transit hubs, including airports, trains, buses, taxis, Uber, and Lyft. LA County Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer.
A, there's a lot of mingling. B, they're often crowded.
She says it's being done because the CDC still believes it's needed to fight COVID.
President Biden is spending this Earth Day in Seattle. He'll discuss the environment in a speech at a park there. And ABC's Andy Field says he's also signing an executive order intended to protect forests.
The president's executive order will call to protect old-growth forests on federal land, promote planting new trees to replace those dying or cut down. The executive order will conduct the first-ever inventory of federal land old-growth trees and use those numbers to protect them. It will also outline how to regrow devastated forest land.
He's also asking Congress for $6 billion to help protect against wildfires. Red flag fire conditions expected today in much of the Southwest, including parts of Arizona. State of emergency has been declared as a fire near Flagstaff has burned over 20,000 acres. So far, there's been no comment from the office of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who said Thursday a New York Times report that he told colleagues he would urge then-President Trump to resign after January 6th was totally false. But Thursday night, the Times released audio of McCarthy discussing the possibility of a second impeachment.
The only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should resign.
Pentagon believes the next few weeks in the war in Ukraine are critical to its outcome. You're listening to ABC News.
Ew, Dad, why are toenails so ugly and yellow?
Hey, it's James, and if you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus. And you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-764-9219, or visit crystalflush.com.
Another member of the Trump family is now expected to speak to the congressional committee that's investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. Here's ABC Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
President Trump's oldest son is preparing to meet the committee investigating the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Donald Trump Jr.'s potential testimony comes as the committee in recent weeks has stepped up its focus on President Trump's family, with Ivanka Trump, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and Don Jr.'s fiancée all testifying. The committee apparently wants to know what they know about the planning for the rally and how President Trump reacted and responded to the violence.
The former president of Honduras has been extradited to the United States to face drug trafficking charges. The Justice Department says Juan Orlando Hernandez took millions in bribes from cartels.
In exchange for those millions of dollars in bribes, Hernandez allegedly facilitated the importation of massive quantities of cocaine into the U.S.
Damian Williams is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Hernandez was president of Honduras from 2014 until January of this year. Researchers now say when teens don't listen to their parents, blame biology. A Stanford study looked at scans of the brains of teens, and they show when kids hit their teenage years, they no longer find their mother's voice rewarding. But the researchers say that's actually normal, part of the maturation process. This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Step back to the 1940s when you step inside Dive Bombers Antiques and the Chow Hound Cafe. That's a new business featuring vintage memorabilia from all branches of our military. They carry all sizes of plaques and signs, framed pictures, collectible toys from that era, dishes, furniture, books, and so much more. After browsing through all the gifts, be sure to stop into the Chow Hound for a delicious hot dog, kielbasa, or smoked sausage prepared by Jesse James. He now has 2 hot dog locations, Railroad Avenue and 126 Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton. They are open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 5. Call them at 828-447-5400. That's the Dive Bombers Vintage Antiques and the Chow Hound Cafe.
Hello everyone, your forecast for the day ahead involves plenty of sunshine. We'll see highs today in the upper 70s and lower 80s and expect a light breeze through the afternoon. Mostly clear sky for any evening plans you may have. Temperatures dropping from the 70s then into the 60s through the evening hours. We'll be starting off in the lower 50s Saturday morning. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies Saturday afternoon with highs in the lower 80s. We're warmer for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's going to continue to be that way pretty much all weekend. As a matter of fact, tomorrow looks like highs around 80 with the northeast wind only about 7 miles per hour. No heavy gusts coming up until Monday again. We have gusts up to 14 miles per hour on Monday, but the weekend absolutely nice. You couldn't have ordered any better weather for this weekend. It's about time we had a good one in it. And we'll see I'm looking all the way through Wednesday of next week. No rain in the forecast whatsoever. Getting up to 85 for the daytime high on Monday. That's like summertime weather here in the foothills. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the third hour of 3 of our morning wake-up calls here on WCAB. A special guest coming up here in the Blue Room to talk about some things on her mind. We're happy to introduce her in just a few moments. Let me remind you the Braves will be playing this evening. 6:05 is the pregame. We'll have that pregame starting. We'll join that pregame for you. And the Braves have a 3-game stretch there with the Marlins, Miami Marlins. Looks like through Sunday, they have not gotten their mojo yet. They've been stumbling around a little bit. But when they get home now and see Mama and the babies and the kiddos, and they'll be able to play a little better tonight, maybe we'll do that. Next week, we start our interviews with the candidates seeking school board seats, and we'll have that next week. It'll go all the way up until Election Day, a primary Election Day. And coming up today, I believe it is, let me see just a second here. I got notes. I've got to find my notes. Can't do without my notes. Today is the deadline to register to vote or change your party affiliation. You may register at the Board of Elections office on Fairground Road, Spindale, during regular office hours, 8:30 to 5 today. During the primary elections, voters may only vote with their registered political party's ballot. In Rutherford County, political offices are dominated by Republicans. All of the competitive local primary races this year are among Republicans. So if you want to vote in that race, you must be registered Republican or registered unaffiliated. So you must do that. Today's the deadline for that. There's going to be a candidate forum, NAACP candidate forum at the Rutherford County NAACP branch, hosting a political candidate forum. The organization will host a forum Tuesday, April 26th. That's coming up Tuesday at the Gold Hill Assembly Building, 799 Academy Street, Spindale. The event will be from 6:30 to 8 o'clock and moderated by Jerry Weiss. Travis McIntyre, the local NAACP president, is hoping for a large turnout, and you're invited to attend. Pass that information on to you. It's about 10 minutes after the hour, and I'm going to move over to the next microphone right here so I can introduce my guest today. My guest is Beth Helton. Beth, good morning. Welcome to the Blue Room.
Thank you very much.
Glad to see you. Glad to have you come in. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and your background. A lot of folks know you, but there may be a lot of listeners that may not have never met you.
Well, that is true, too. I'm Beth Helton, and we have moved up to Bostic in 2010. My husband's father was Don Helton, and so we moved up here, built a house to try to help take care of Helen. Got into real estate in 2012. I had been working with attorneys for 26 years. And so in real estate, I had to work with them. I don't want to have to hire one. So that's kind of where my attitude is with attorneys and making sure I do the right thing in real estate. But when my dad died in 2011, they were doing they had already bought a house and were trying to sell their old house. And it was for sale by owner. So I understand for sale by owner people. I also know they're crazy. It's too difficult. It's just too difficult. So my aunt and uncle called me up one day and they said, if you want to get your real estate license, we'll pay for it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I got my license and haven't looked back. I've absolutely loved it. Love, love, love. Would not want to do anything else.
Well, this is a good market to be in right now with real estate, isn't it?
It depends. I had one guy tell me, he says, oh, I bet you're just rolled in the dough. And I'm like, oh, honey, it's Valium and Tylenol because it's so difficult. This is a seller's market, completely a seller's market. And what that means is we have less than 6 months of inventory. It's like if you need a car and you see, oh, here's a car advertised. Let's go get it. And there's 5 or 6 people right there waiting for the same car. That's the problem we're having. We've got all these buyers looking for all these houses that just, aren't on the market yet, or there's too many buyers for the houses that we have.
We just don't have enough inventory, do we?
We do not have enough inventory. So if you want to sell your house, we will be more than happy to help you do it. And it won't last long. And the first thing I ask my sellers is, do you have a place to go when your house sells? Because my house is not big enough for you to come live with me. So I don't want people to be homeless, but you got to think about this. If you're seriously wanting to sell your house, now is a great time to do it. And if you're thinking about buying, now is a great time to do it because interest rates are still low. I remember, I guess it was in the 70s, my dad buying a house at 17.5% interest. Now people are like, oh, it's 5% or whatever it is today. That's too high. We're still in single digits. We're good. Yeah, we're good. And so right now, it's a good time to buy and a good time to sell. Except things, because this market is so crazy, people that have been doing this for 40 and 50 years have said, I've never seen it like this. And I don't want to see it like this again. It's stressful for the buyers, it's stressful for the sellers, and it's stressful for the real estate agents. Because it's just, we don't have enough inventory, you can't get your offers accepted. How do I get my people into a house that they need? And in a location where they need to be in. So it's going to have to come back down. The powers that be say probably will be strong for another 2 years, but we're not going to be as strong as we were 2 years ago. But it's got to come back down. It just has to. It can't stay like this forever.
You made a good point a while ago, though, in terms of planning ahead. If people get excited about selling a place because everybody's wanting something right now, if you don't have somewhere to go, if you don't have plans after that, it could be very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
So don't just think about that fast money that you might get. You got to think ahead.
That's exactly right. And the fast money you might get, you're going to be in the buyer pool if you don't have somewhere to go, and so that fast money is going to go fast because everything is so high right now and overpriced. And people who are renting, we get calls all the time about rentals. I hang my license with Robert Greene Real Estate. We're up on the hill behind the Lime Green movie theater, and we get calls every day asking about rentals. Do you have rentals? No, we don't. And the people that we usually refer them to don't have any either. So it's like, Rutherford Weekly is your best bet. Look at Facebook on One Man's Junk. There's just no rentals out there either. And some of the rentals are just as high as a mortgage payment. People need to understand when you're renting an apartment or you're renting a house, you're building somebody else's wealth. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. So why would I do that if I can get into a house? But people also need to understand you have to change your mindset with your money. If you're thinking about buying a house in the next 2 years, next 6 months, your mindset with your money has to be, is it a need or is it a want? If I need it, okay, can I pay cash for it? Because if you keep putting money on your charge cards, your debt to income ratio is going to be out of whack. So if you don't need it, then don't buy it. Do it for 6 months and see what happens. Realize how much money you have saved by having that mindset. Because if you are trying to save for a house, the price of the house might be $150,000. That's just the price of the house. You still have to pay some stuff out of pocket. So like you've got due diligence fee, or due diligence money, your earnest money, those you have to put down up front. Then you have to pay for an appraisal out of your pocket. If you want a home inspection, you pay that for out of your pocket. Are you going to have utilities put in your name? Are they going to charge you a deposit? Are you going to pay for movers? So that $150,000 is just for the house. That's not closing costs. That's not any of this other stuff. So you've got to start saving a little nest egg to be able to get into the house. And people just don't seem to understand everything that goes into it. So my desire in getting into real estate was to help make a difference with people, help them to understand the process so it's not so scary. I mean, some people think that we're just out for a quick buck. And I can honestly tell you, I've got to pay my bills. We all have bills to pay. But my motivation is not the money as much as it is, I don't want you cussing me when you write your mortgage payment every month. I can't believe she talked me into buying this house. I want to have a good reputation. Right. And that's the only thing that we have in this business is our reputation. And if people have a real estate agent, they need to ask them questions. They need to make sure they understand what they're doing. And I think one of the other problems that we're having in this county is we have real estate agents that come from outside the county to either list or sell in this county. They don't know our county. So they don't know that they'll list a house on 221, not even realizing we have a widening project in place. And it's like, whoa, on the MLS sheet, they don't say anything about 221 taking half of that front yard. Well, that's a material fact. And as agents, if we see something that's wrong, or if we know something that's going to affect that property, we have to disclose it. The seller doesn't, but we do. So when you get an agent that's outside of the county coming in, do they really know what's going on in this county? And some of them do. But it's better if you stay local, I think. And then we have some agents from Charlotte bringing buyers into this county. And Charlotte, I mean, let's face it, a little house in Dilworth can go for $700,000, $800,000, whereas the same house here might be $350,000 or $400,000, and they think it's a great deal, and it is for them. So we're trying to kind of educate people on the process, what it means to be a home buyer and a home seller, and sort of let them know some terms that they're going to be faced with, because it's kind of scary. People are telling me all the time, well, what if the inspection's not good and the bank won't loan on it? The bank is only wanting an appraisal. And that appraisal is a guy that comes in here, he is a licensed appraiser. He goes into your house, he measures it, he takes pictures, he goes back to his computer and he plugs in the information. He finds houses that are similar to yours, and he makes adjustments. If yours has 3 bedrooms and this one has 4, then I've got to take so much away from this one. And he has this whole elaborate thing that he does, and he comes up with a figure. Well, if that figure is less than the contracted price, the seller can either say, man, I really wanted my $400,000, and he only came up with $350,000. Well, if that's what it appraised for, that's the only thing the lender's going to loan on this house is $350,000. So the seller has to come down to $350,000, or the buyer has to come up. Who's got that kind of money? Nobody that I know of. And if the seller won't come down, then the buyer can walk away. Now, in North Carolina, the buyers can walk away for any reason or no reason at all. But they need to understand, if you walk away, this due diligence money, as it's called, that goes directly to the seller. So you lose that due diligence money. It's basically money that's given to the seller to take their house off the market, or to buy time to do your inspections and things like that. And if the inspections come back and there's something of a concern, then you ask the seller, okay, will you fix this, or come off the price, or pay more of my closing costs? These days, people need help with closing costs. So sellers need to go ahead and understand, I've got my house priced at this amount. So am I prepared to go ahead and give $5,000 closing costs? And there are things that realtors do to make it more appealing to the seller to do that. And that's something that real estate agents need to tell their clients. In this business, people will steal other people's clients. It hasn't happened so much, up here, but it has happened in the past. So we have, as realtors, we have a certain ethical standard we have to meet. And one of those is not stealing other people's clients. There's enough to go around. And so we have a brochure called Working with Real Estate Agents. And it's really cool because on the back it explains what is a buyer's agent, what's a seller's agent, what does dual agency mean. And agents need to go over this with their people to make sure they understand, because we're not here to take people's clients. We just want to educate people so that they're not scared of the process. So if somebody's working with an agent, that agent needs to show them a house. We have some people that don't understand that. So they'll call any agent that's on the sign and say, "Can I see your house?" "Well, are you working with an agent?" "No." And then you go show them the house. You take your time. It may take an hour because they're going to ask all kinds of questions. And then they say, "Oh, I think I want to make an offer. I'll call my agent."
Yeah.
We don't get paid if we don't get to the closing table.
Yeah.
I don't get paid Robert Green Real Estate. I get paid when I have a client that gets across that finish line. We go to the closing table. He's bought a house. Then I get the broker fee. That's the only time we get paid.
Beth, this is very interesting. I hope you can come back again and talk some more, because you've shed a lot of light on this process of buying and selling your real estate.
Yes. And we've set up an email address, realestatequestion1 if people want to email us questions. It's monitored, and we'll be glad to answer anything they got.
And your office again is?
Robert Green Real Estate.
Is it the phone number to reach you? Or?
Well, reach me at 704-853-9060.
Have a good website. I looked it up.
Thank you so much.
You got a good website. Beth Helton, my guest this morning, to talk a little bit about real estate. It's great ideas that she shared with us, and I hope we can schedule another time.
Oh, yeah,
Thanks.
We need to.
Good. You have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
I'll be back in just a moment.
This is Steve Owens, your clerk of Superior Court. I'm a graduate of R.S. Central High School and Ice Thermal Community College. I have 24 years of continued service in the North Carolina judicial system. I have served as your elected clerk of Superior Court since 2014. As the current clerk of Superior Court, one of my many duties is to serve as judge of probate. I have presided over 1,500 hearings, and not even one case on appeal has ever been overturned by a higher court. When I first took over, the audit score was 72% with numerous violations. Now, our latest audit, our county is tied for first place with a score of 100%. I have fulfilled my campaign promises to run the clerk's office as a business and to treat everyone with respect and courtesy. My wife Gina and I have been active members of Cornerstone Fellowship Church since 1998. I will continue to be a clerk you can talk to and depend on. After re-election, I will continue to make our county and citizens proud by following the laws and statutes of our state. I ask for your prayers and support. Early voting starts April 28th for the May 17th primary.
Vote to re-elect Steve H. Owens, Republican, for Clerk of Court on May the 17th. Early voting begins on April the 28th. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Steve H. Owens.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is offering the flu vaccines. You can walk in Monday through Friday or by appointment only on Saturdays. The Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers, if you need assistance registering your recalled devices, you can call the Home Medical Department at 245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has a large selection of in-stock mastectomy bras, now half price. So come by our Home Equipment Department on West Main Street in Forest City. Smith's Drugs, 245-4591.
Deputy Lowry with the Sheriff's Department was on with us earlier, gave us a report from that department. We recorded it for broadcast at this time.
In the past 24 hours, we have responded to 149 calls, processed 20 arrests, and the jail currently has 174 detainees. Under incident reports, we have Michael Hauser reported a incident of breaking and entering to a residence on Doggett Road. We have Annette Stover of Rutherford reported an incident of fraud. Susan Korn of Union Mills reported an incident of larceny of motor vehicle. We have Rutherford County DSS reported an incident of damage to property. Ronald McIntyre of Ellenboro reported an incident of attempt to obtain property by false pretense. And then for arrest reports, we have Brandon Lee Logan of Pea Ridge Road in Rutherford, charged with assault and battery. We have Stephen Schaefer of Ellenboro, charged with possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver Schedule 2 controlled substance, non-supportive child, and resist public officer. Possess drug paraphernalia, failure to appear on misdemeanor, ×2, and probation violation. We have Vincent Harrison, address listed as homeless. He was arrested for misdemeanor larceny. Keegan Henson, no address given, arrested for possession of marijuana paraphernalia, possession of marijuana up to a ½ ounce. Terry Scrontz of Forest City, charged with misdemeanor flee elude, driving while license revoked, operate vehicle no insurance. Tristan Bolyard of Granite Falls, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Aaron Langley of Mooresboro, charged with failure to appear on felony. Davis Vickers of Ellenboro, charged with notice of hearing on violation of supervised probation. Aubrey Bright of Ellenboro, charged with injury to personal property. And Samuel Boyce of Forest City, charged with assault on a female and littering 15 to 500 pounds. And that's all.
That's long enough to drive the length of a football field at 55 miles per hour. 18% of all car accidents in North Carolina involve a distracted driver. Let's keep our eyes on the road, avoid distractions, and also remember to buckle up. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele are the first-round leaders of the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. Cantlay holed a 25-foot eagle putt early and chipped in from 40 feet for a birdie late. Schauffele contributed 6 birdies of his own and a 13-under 59 in 4 balls, leaving them one shot. Shaka is dead at the age of 80. The deep-throwing QB, nicknamed the Mad Bomber, led the Oakland Raiders to Super Bowl II in 1968, where they lost to the Green Bay Packers 33-14. LaMonica topped the AFL with 3,302 yards passing and 34 touchdowns in 1969. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello everyone, your forecast for the day ahead involves plenty of sunshine, a milder day as well. We'll see highs today in the upper 70s and lower 80s and expect a light breeze through the afternoon. Mostly clear sky for any evening plans you may have. Temperatures dropping from the 70s then into the 60s through the evening hours. We'll be starting off in the lower 50s Saturday morning. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies Saturday afternoon with highs in the lower 80s. We're warmer for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And currently we have 54 sunny degrees here in the foothills on this Friday morning. Weekend looking good. Sunday we're getting up to 81 for a daytime high. Monday it'll be 85 for an expected high on Monday. No rain in the forecast. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program today is Mark Morris and Carol Reynolds.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for listening. This is Mark with Word of Faith Fellowship, and I'm here with Carol. And today we want to share with you our hearts about what God has spoken to us about the martial arts. The martial arts can include, you may have heard of karate, ninjutsu, jujitsu, kung fu, and taekwondo, and Tai Chi, and there's other names, but the martial arts are all rooted in absolute paganism, which is really Satanism. And we're seeing the martial arts infiltrate the United States, Western culture. It has done so for many decades now, but we're also seeing it come into the church. And there's much deception in the church about the martial arts, where people are deceived and they are sending their children to these martial arts schools, and they're taking the classes themselves. And what's happening is they're allowing demon spirits to come in their lives. And in essence, in the scripture, God continually warns us to have nothing to do with the pagan practices. God has said from the beginning, we are a holy people. We are set apart for God, and we're not supposed to conform and take on the customs of the world and the practices, the pagan practices. And so we want to go through the martial arts with you and share with you how serious it is that the martial arts is allowing demons to come in you. So we're going to start off with the basic understanding of what martial arts is. Now, this is actually from the Encyclopedia Britannica. It defines it as this: the primary unifying aspect of the Eastern Asian martial arts, which sets them apart from other martial arts, is the influence of Taoism and Zen Buddhism. This influence has resulted in a strong emphasis on the mental and spiritual state of the practitioner, a state in which the rationalization and calculation functioning of the mind are suspended so the mind and body can react immediately as a unit, reflecting the changing situation around the combatant. Now, what this is saying from the Encyclopedia Britannica is it identifies the martial arts as being spiritual. There is actually a suspension of your mind to open yourself up to spirituality, and so that is how you engage in combat. What we go on to understand, this is from a biblical perspective of the martial arts and karate by Rebecca May. This is an article that you can look up yourself. And here is what Miss May writes. She says, most, if not all, martial arts originated in the East, either in Japan, where we get jiu-jitsu, in China, where you get kung fu, in Korea, Taekwondo, or Okinawa, which is the birthplace of karate, do. The art of kung fu was brought to Okinawa by the Chinese, and in 1609, when Japan conquered the island and outlawed weapons, karate, which means the empty hand, was developed. The most important figure in the history of karate is Zen master and Buddhist monk Bodhidharma, who synthesized karate techniques and yoga meditation in order to unite mind, spirit, and body. The Japanese invasion of Okinawa was significant, also influencing the spiritual and philosophical aspects of karate by introducing their national religion of Taoism. Martial arts reached the U.S. in the mid-1800s with Chinese immigration, but it did not become popular until really this last century. So we can understand the origins of martial arts is clearly rooted in Buddhism and Taoism, which relates to Buddhism. So karate is perhaps one of the most common martial arts that we see in the United States. And it is what we're seeing also infiltrate the church. There's even people who have karate studios and classes in churches. And then there's karate studios that claim to be Christian, and they read Bible verses before they get started. But what you're going to understand as we progress through this is that every bit of that, when you send your child or you participate and you put on that uniform and you go into that karate studio, you are bowing your knee to Satan. You are actually committing an abomination against God, and you are letting demon spirits come inside of you. Buddhism, which is a religion, it developed from the teachings of somebody who was referred to as Buddha, who was a teacher who lived in northern India between the mid-6th and mid-4th centuries BC, all the way back in that time. And so this individual came up through demon spirits, an entire religion and philosophy. And that entire religion and philosophy involved a lifestyle that was demonic. It was apart from God. There was absolutely no Christian basis or foundation, no acknowledging of the one true supreme God, but it involved a series of teachings about how you obtain into spirituality. It really started in India, and it spread from India into Southeast Asia, China, Korea, and Japan. And so what's interesting about this is that there are the roots of this pagan Buddhist religion go all the way back to India and Hinduism. And if you study this, you can study Hinduism and yoga, and you can find out that this is all connected. It all talks about this supernatural energy and power that is absolutely against Christianity and what God's Word says. This is from an article, again, a biblical perspective of the martial arts and karate by Miss May, and here's what she says. The basic philosophy of martial arts is the idea of do, which means way or path. Now, you'll hear these words, and you'll also hear about enlightenment in karate and actually in Buddhism and Zen Buddhism. According to Kencho Fureo, martial artist and author, he says this: Do has the positive meaning of your training in your own martial arts discipline to not only become skillful in the art and become strong enough to defeat your opponent, but also to become a better person physically and spiritually, and to develop oneself as a complete, enlightened person. This enlightenment Kincho referred to originated with Hinduism and is carried on through Buddhism. It is the state of realizing the deity which resides in you, and it is achieved through personal oneness with the universe. This is also called nirvana. Once on the path, do, it is possible to find your internal energy whereby you can achieve oneness with the universe, nirvana, and achieve salvation, that is, become a god through Zen. Now, this is the mental discipline largely based on Zen Buddhism. It gave warriors a framework in which they could face life and death fearlessly. So this is the origination of the martial arts. Now from an article entitled The Hidden Secrets of the Martial Arts by Eric Wilson, and we'll talk a little bit more about Eric Wilson. He's got a powerful testimony, but he's also an author, and Eric Wilson was in the martial arts. He actually reached the rank of 5th degree in Kung Fu and 5th degree in another martial arts, and then became himself a martial arts instructor, devoted his entire life to it. And then God brought him out and showed him so much about it, and his testimony is powerful. And he has written extensively about this. He's the author of several books about this and several different articles on the internet. And so one of his articles, he writes this: all the martial arts around the world have as their foundation and root the Shaolin Temple of China. Shaolin was then and is today a Buddhist temple. Their primary purpose is to evangelize and share Chan Buddhism and Taoism with the entire world. Both of these religions teach that there is no personal God, that there is no single almighty divine being, nor that he has a son who created, controls, and upholds all the universe by the word of his power, and holding each of us accountable for the life he has freely given us. They teach that what is known as God by the Western Christian world is actually an energy force or great spirit, and that through proper breathing techniques, meditation, mantras, spiritual exercises, and lifestyle, we may all become one with this divine energy. Now, this also is, in essence, pantheism. So the roots of all martial arts trace their roots back to the false religions of paganism of Asia, the idea that man has within himself the power and ability to become suprahuman and godlike.
Mark, it's already so clear what you've been sharing with us, the history and the origin, that this is absolutely doctrines that demons teach. It is so clear. We know that there is only one way, and his name is Jesus Christ. And it's just so clear in the Word of God, the warnings against these kinds of activities and what you're yielding your mind and your body and your spirit to. In Romans 14, if you have your Bible or get a pen and paper, jot down Romans 14:23. Whatever does not originate and proceed from faith in God is sin. Whatever is done without a conviction of its approval by God is sinful. What Mark has described to us is Satanism. It is Antichrist, and the Bible strongly warns us. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 20 said, I am suggesting that what the pagans sacrifice, they offer in effect to demons, to evil spiritual powers, and not to God at all. It's very clear. I do not want you to fellowship and be partners with diabolical spirits by eating at their feasts, partaking in what they do. And listen to what he tells us. You cannot drink the Lord's cup and the demon's cup. You cannot partake of the Lord's table and the demon's table. Shall we thus provoke the Lord to jealousy and anger and indignation? Are we stronger than he, that we should defy him? And the practices that Mark was giving us, the history is in defiance against God, Almighty God. In Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2, thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen nations, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heavens, though they are dismayed at them. For the customs and ordinances of the people are false, they're empty and futile. And then in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 23, you shall not walk in the customs of the nation which I am casting out before you. For they did all these things, and therefore I was wearied and grieved by them. You shall be holy, God says to us, for I am holy. Martial arts teach that man has this superhuman ability or energy within him, trying to be like God. And we recognize where that came from, Mark. That goes all the way back to the beginning of the book of Genesis. What did Satan tell Eve? If you eat of this tree, you'll be like God. You'll be like God. It says, the serpent said to the woman in Genesis 3, verse 4, you shall not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing the difference between good and evil, blessing and calamity. True Christians depend and believe on God for everything. We don't look to ourselves or some pagan demonic source. Our source is God. John chapter 5, listen to what Jesus Christ himself said. He said, I'm able to do nothing for myself. This is the Son of God, independently of my own accord, but only as I am taught by God and as I get his orders. Then look in Colossians, the word of the Lord. Whatsoever you do, that's me and you, Christians, whatsoever we do, no matter what it is, in word or if it's in deed, we are to do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and in dependence upon his person, giving praise to God the Father through him. I know you were as horrified as I was to listen to the origin. And this place of karate studios and all these things has taken the entire nation by storm. Mothers, listen. Grandparents, listen. Aunts, uncles, brothers, listen to the warning of Almighty God. From a biblical perspective, again, of the martial arts and karate by Rebecca May, she points out the martial arts say God is all matter and a phenomena in the universe. Christianity says, our Bible tells us, God is real, he is personal, and he is a sovereign being. Look at 1 Chronicles 29, verse 11. The martial arts emphasize the inactivity of the mind. How dangerous. Look at the things that are plaguing the minds of human beings today. How dangerous to open your mind up to a demon god to come in and take hold of your mind. Insanity. Inactivity of the mind. Passivity of the followers. Christianity emphasizes a full and active mind, continually pursuing obedience to God. Joshua 1, verses 8 and 9. The martial arts say that salvation is something which can and must be accomplished through each person by attuning oneself Listen to this now, to the rhythm of the universe. That comes from the Dictionary of Cults and Sects and Religions and the Occult, page 271, if you want to look at it. Christianity says salvation is something which must and is and can only be accomplished by God through his Son, Jesus Christ. Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It's only in Jesus, Mark.
That's right. And so when you learn about the martial arts, one of the things that you will hear about is the concept of chi or ki. It's spelled Ki or Chi.
Mm-hmm.
And what this means is breath or spirit. And when you see a karate studio or martial arts studio, you will hear this sound of them proclaiming this ki or chi as they're doing different movements and forces, or you may have seen this yourself. And so back to the concepts, what's going on in these martial arts studios is, as martial artists, the power, control, and demonstration of chi energy is considered the highest ability. Therefore, they train in meditation and breath control in order to open the mind to the influence of the spirit and the world. And this is from, again, the article Hidden Secrets of the Martial Arts by Eric Wilson, who was himself submerged in this, and he continues to write, when these spirits influence, control, and eventually enter the practitioner's life, unbelievable and amazing feats, skills, and abilities may be performed in the martial artists. The spirits deceive us into believing that these unnatural abilities are ours alone, but demons are really using the person's body. Now, what's interesting about this person, Eric Wilson, and his testimony is, as he progressed, the more he progressed, the more he realized that this was indeed an absolute spiritual exercise. And in part of his testimony in The Secrets of the Dragon, he writes this: I will never forget the day when the Grandmaster I was training under revealed to me the real nature of this mystic energy or force, which we were taught to channel and tap into for true martial power. He explained that to the beginner, chi is said to be internal strength, while to the initiate, chi, ki, or prana is said to be breath. But to the disciple and master of the arts, chi is finally revealed to be spirit. And what he talks about is how when you first start the martial arts, they don't tell you about this. Right. They just talk about self-discipline, self-control, and then they'll talk about breathing, and then you'll hear a little bit about trying to find that strength within you. And he even goes on and talks about the different levels of the belts. And you start off with a white belt, and the concept of the white belt is to basically show that you're emptying yourself. You're emptying yourself, and you bow to the master that's there, and you're submitting to all of what he has. And Eric Wilson goes on and he talks about how in the spirit, what you're doing is you're bowing to the demons in that instructor, who they call master. Now Jesus said we're supposed to only have one master. Right. He, as a matter of fact, he said you cannot serve two masters. You will either become a slave to one, right, and you'll hate the other, or the reverse. So what's happening is you actually are bowing to the demons in that karate master. And he goes on and talks about the green belt, referring to growth. And really what it's referring to is growth spiritually. You're growing in the fact that you're growing in this fake, pagan, demonic energy inside of you. And then when you get to the brown belt, which refers to blood, and you don't get to these points without getting in fights and being able to overcome all the other ones in their class. And then the brown belt is when they start to go more in depth about this chi, this energy. But what he says is once you reach the black belt, that's when everything changes, and they no longer hide or clothe this concept of spirituality, this concept of energy. And he goes on and he explains this energy is called Tao. Now this, remember, Taoism or Taoism from Japan is totally intertwined with karate. And if you remember, so karate originated in Okinawa, but it came from the Chinese, which came from the Shaolin Temple out of Buddhism, and that's where the martial arts began. And so this spread. It spread to the island of Okinawa, and the people took on karate. And then when Japan took over Okinawa, they also they liked this practice, and they intertwined their religious beliefs of Taoism, which is similar to Buddhism, believing, and here's what you'll find, a universal life force, and is symbolized by the mystical concept of yin-yang. And it is through the joining and balancing of these two opposite yet supposed equal powers that harmony and the manifestation of spiritual and esoteric abilities is said to be achieved. The energy or force is said to dwell within all matter, the rocks, the trees, the planets, and every human being. And although hidden, it is said to be only awaiting an awakening. Now you'll hear that word in the martial arts as well, an awakening and an enlightenment. This all is from pagan religions, and it is in every part of karate, whether you know it or you don't know it, whether you agree with it or not. As you participate in it, you are doing these practices. Now one of the things that Eric Wilson describes is that as he progressed and he realized this became more spiritual, you depend on this chi, this energy, and he said that he witnessed and himself performed were really supernatural strength and ability to be able to move people without touching them and do things and break blocks and not get hurt and so forth. And so as he gives his testimony, he points out the truth is that people were letting demonic powers in them and using them. Now, Revelation 16:14 talks about this. Right. It says, "For really they are spirits of demons that perform signs, wonders, and miracles, and they go forth to the rulers and leaders over the world to gather them together for war on that great day of God the Almighty." Now, this is talking about Revelations in the end time, but it does refer specifically the fact that demons will, through people, and they are doing it now, and I believe we're in those days where they are performing signs and wonders when you yield yourself to demons. Yes. So even the basic beginner stages of the stances, the footwork, the punching, the blocking, and the kicking, all the students progresses in the control of their motor skills. They are slowly introduced to the idea and the principle of breath control and internal strength or power and are encouraged to find the energy within them. And Eric Wilson goes on and says, according to Eastern mysticism, breathing is both a physical and spiritual exercise. The ability to control one's breathing and respiration is used to enter an altered state of consciousness or hypnosis. This then opens the door from this physical to the spirit world. Deep breathing and meditation are then presented to enhance one's physical abilities. This is often being taught a new form of science or metaphysics. It is a deadly mixture of ancient occult practices with scientific terminology. And when this new learned power, a punch is no longer just a punch. The masters of Kung Fu teach that Qi is like the batteries inside a toy. Qi is what creates real power. And he goes on and he explains about what demonic signs and wonders he witnessed when he had this black belt.
Mm-hmm. It is just shocking, Mark. The principles of yin-yang, the Taoist doctrine of yin-yang, has been adopted by the Buddhist, Hindus, New Age movement. You're hearing this new terminology coming out, and